What's up, everyone? All right, so in today's episode, I'm going to break down my trades from the morning. I'm sitting here in the green, but there's no question about it. We've got a little bit of headwind in the overall market. So, overall market's selling off. We've had a couple of really big red days. And the result is that traders naturally are a little more cautious, a little more hesitant. Now, on the one hand, we've got a lot of large cap stocks that are selling off. And when you have one or two penny stocks or small cap stocks that have a catalyst, like good news headline, and start to pop up, you can get a lot of long bias traders that sort of focus in on those one or two stocks, and then their moves can be exaggerated, even bigger than you would typically expect. However, we didn't have anything today that really fit that profile. We had some continuation this morning on SNOA, and that was the stock I made the most on, which is fine. I mean, I'm happy to get some trades on it, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. What I was hoping for was fresh breaking news and a stock to squeeze up. But as I mentioned in my recap yesterday, it's not uncommon for these small cap stocks and the companies that, for these companies to be a little bit more cautious about putting out good news at a time when it may not be very well received because overall sentiment is a little bit weaker, right? Market's now down almost 10% off the high. This is the S&P 500. So 10% dip goes into correction territory. We're just below the 200 moving average on the daily chart. So we're in a little bit of a lull, a little bit of a pullback. Here's what I'll say. I know a lot of traders who learned how to trade during hot markets, like during the pandemic, and even the hot markets just of the last 4 or 5 months, but who have not yet gotten good at trading during a cold market. Getting good at trading during a cold market is the ultimate sign of success. Because if you can make money when it's cold, you can make money when it's hot. So what's different about a cold market? Well, a cold market, you got to be a little bit more patient. We're going to see stocks hitting the scanners, but what happens is traders hesitate. They're like, I don't know if that's going to work. And shorts are a little more aggressive to jump in and short these pops. So the result is that the moves are a little bit more subdued. There's a little less buying, a little more shorting, so you get a little less volatility. And what ends up happening is you get into this compressed range where everything just seems to move a little bit less. So with things moving less, if you continue trying to trade with really big size, instead of having nice trades, you're going to have a lot of break-even trades, or you're going to get a lot of rejections and you're going to have losses. So you got to size down. That's the biggest tip. Trading during a cold market requires you to size down. There's less volatility, there's less liquidity, but you can still make money trading with smaller size. So that's what I did today. I brought my share size down. In fact, I traded with, probably about a quarter of the full size positions that I was trading with a couple weeks ago when we were still in like really hot market territory. So the total profits today, it's smaller, but it's still a green day. So let's see, sitting today up $2,926.44. Second day trading in Mexico, another green day. And I'm grateful to be green. For me, I don't want to overstay my welcome. This profit came between 7 a.m. and about 9:30. And because I didn't have a big cushion going into the open, I just felt like, it's not worth taking a lot of risk here. I better just be defensive and take what I've got off the table. Because here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to protect my track record of being a very consistent trader. That's my focus, is being consistent. So today I took 4 trades. I had one loser and it was an $85 loss. So an $85 loss, that's my only loss today. The other 3 trades were winners. So number 1, my accuracy is 75%. That's great. Now, 3 winners produce basically $3,000 of profit. So about $1,000 each. So I have a profit to loss ratio today, $85 loser, $2,000 winner. That's a 10 to 1 profit loss ratio. That is really good. So the only way you can achieve those kind of metrics is by being picky and having patience. So right now, when I first sat down this morning, I saw SNOA had popped up and I was a little bit bummed out because the biggest part of the move occurred just before 7 a.m. So right here at about 650, it squeezes from 380 all the way up to 450. Such a shame. It made that nice big move before 7 a.m. Most retail traders aren't able to trade before 7 a.m., so most of us missed it entirely, including me. Even though I can trade that early, I don't typically, and I missed that move. So this squeezed here from 350 up to 4, pull back up to 450, and I got in, let's see, so let's go back to the top of the hour, 7 a.m. So 7 a.m., I take my first trade on SNOA, I'll do the 10-second chart here just so we can get really zoomed in on this. I bought just after 7 a.m. and the first trade was a loser. I got in at 456 and 459, and I stopped out, basically break even. It was a 7,500 share position, and I was in and out break even, basically. So that was right here. So it popped up. It then dipped down, and I bought right here, thinking that we were about to do this kind of like red to green move and squeeze through the high. And when it couldn't break over 60, I got right back out for a small loss. So 7,500 shares in and out, small loss, no big deal. It pulls back a little bit more, it dips down. And I noticed right here that we had this previous support around 35. And so right here, when it was holding 35, I decided to buy this dip right here. And I bought that with 10,000 shares. And then I added 2,500 as it broke over the $0.50 right here of 450. And that one trade was $1,800 of profit. So that was actually my best trade of the day. That one right there, the dip off of 35. So the reason I took that trade was because of the double bottom at 434, 435. So this was the spot where I was watching to give it a chance to break. And so something I mentioned today during class, during my live broadcast, was that, of course, I'm watching the level 2. So in those moments, I'm watching the bid, and I know that the previous low was 434. So I'm looking at the bid, and I'm seeing 434, 435, and then I'm watching the time and sales. And we were seeing red on the time and sales, which indicates selling. So let's say there's a 10,000 share buyer at 34. And then I see red going through the tape, and it goes from 10,000 shares to 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going to happen? Most likely, the stock's going to drop down to 433, maybe 432, 431, and maybe even lower. But it didn't drop. And in fact, what actually happened is it started to sell, and then all the selling kind of stopped, and there was a moment of pause. So on the actual tape, there was a moment of pause. And when I saw that pause, I thought, that's a little indecisive. You know, when a stock is at a peak level going up, you don't like to see it pausing. That's indecisive. When it's at a significant breakdown spot and it pauses, that's not good either. So that pause for me was actually a signal that we're having some indecision, which might mean sellers are not feeling so confident and maybe buyers are going to come back in. And then I see a couple green orders on the tape. So now I'm seeing, okay, there's some other people that are buying, thinking the same thing as me. So I went ahead and I bought right there. So that was what sort of created that it was just that's like what was happening in those seconds there. So that ended up being my best trade of the day, which is kind of sad because it wasn't really that great of a trade, all things considered. But anyways, so there was that trade. Then we came back down to 34 and we broke that level. So I was like, oh, darn it. Okay, so now it's going a little bit lower. This is not great. So I don't take any trades in this area. We go sideways for a while. And we're kind of just hanging out here. We actually break below VWAP. We come back up. And I don't take my next trade till about 8:15. So it was about an hour later. So the next trade was, let's see. It was actually right here. And I got in right here for the break through 440. I was looking at the break through the high of this pivot right back here. And I was looking for a retest of 450. And I was hoping that, maybe we would make another attempt at getting up to the high a day. So it was that break right there where I jumped in. It pops up to 448. It doesn't want to go. So I got in and I got out on that one with about $600 of profit. And that put me up $2,400 on the stock. So 3 trades on SNOA, 1 loser and 2 winners, up 2,400. All right, so nothing to write home about, but it's I'm green on the stock. So then in the meantime, JFBR hits our scanners. So JFBR hits the scans, and this one, so I was across the room actually, over on the other side of the house. So I'm in a house, and so I was over on the other side of the house, but I heard my scanners. So I heard the audio alert of the scanner, and I came running over here. It was a little slippery out in the hall. I almost slipped and fell, but I came running over here. And then I saw JFBR, and I was like, God, JFBR, this stock is garbage. I almost broke my neck to get over here, and it's for JFBR. So Jeff's Brands, it's a company that the problem is you look at the chart and it keeps having news and it'll have volume and then it goes red on the day. It's like every time. So this had news and I was like, nope, I don't trust it. It's not going to, yes, the float is very low. It has the right profile, but the stock is known for just not working. So I was like, nope, not touching that. So that was JFBR. And then we had, let's see, then there was another one. I can't think of off the top of my head, but MLGO also popped up on the scanners a little later. And MLGO had this squeezed at about 6 a.m., sold off, and came back up here. So let me give you a little pop quiz. All right, so pop quiz. You've got MLGO here. This is a stock that has given us, well, hold on. Let's make sure we're all lined up here. So pop quiz. MLGO. This is a Chinese stock. It's been volatile in previous trading sessions, and it is squeezing up right now. What do? Do we take this trade right here to buy this first candle to make a new high on the 5-minute chart over 480? What's the answer? Yes or no? The answer is no. The reason, we will be approaching a double top. 497 double top, previous high. At best, what we could do is it could come up to the double top, it could consolidate, and then form what's called a cup and a handle formation. This is a large cup right here. This is a handle, so consolidation here and then breaking through the level. But this trade right here, too risky, overhead resistance, does not work. So that's MLGO. So no trades on that one, didn't trust it. DWTX, here's another one. So DWTX had the same issue with this one coming up against the previous day's high. Now, this one actually did break, but it didn't hold. Look at that large topping tail candle. And then it kind of just goes sideways. It's not strong enough because it doesn't have a standalone catalyst. It's moving 3 days in a row, just pushing a little higher, but it's the volume pales in comparison to what it had previously, so it's just not working out. So that's DWTX. So then MNTS hits my scanners. And when MNTS hits my scanners, I see Momentus and Solstar Space Partner for on-demand communication for space systems. And I'm like, space. Okay, well, that's kind of, a somewhat trending, catalyst, space sector. So I look at the chart and I see, all right, it's been selling off for quite a while. It's sort of a turnaround story. These can work well. The float's 2.1 million shares, and I go ahead and jump on. So I'll give you the micro pullback setup right here. So let's back this up, zoom this in. Honestly, this is it's hard to see. So on this one, it hit right here a high of 245. Then you can see dips down because this candle opens lower. Typically, a candle closes and then opens at the same price. This candle closed and then it opened down here. That created the micro pullback right there for the entry. And I got in and my average, I think, was 43 or maybe it was 33. So I was in kind of right in this area here. It breaks through 50. I added 55 and then up here at 60, there was a 20,000 share seller. So a big seller on the level 2. It drops down, it comes back up again, it cannot break through that seller, and it just starts to unwind. And then it ends up doing a full round trip. It comes all the way back down. It's actually red on the day now. So although I made $477 on it, it was clearly not a solid trade. And, at that point, it's just like, all right, you know what? I think the writing's on the wall. It's just not happening today. If there was ever a day to push it, today is not that day, right? Today is the day to get out while the going's good. And this is where I was sitting going into the open. So going into, and even looking at DWTX right now, it's like on the one hand, tempting, 5-minute consolidation. On the other hand, is it obvious? It's not even on the leading gainer scanner. In fact, the leader is a buyout. That's no good. The others are cheaper. Right now we're in between hot moves and you've got to be really careful. So I made this decision basically coming into 9:30. I said, all right, I'm up $3,000 and I'm watching SNOA because it was sort of curling up. And I was thinking SNOA and TNON, there were a couple others I sort of had on watch. And I said, you know what, Ross? You're only up 3 grand. Your daily goal is 5,000. That's your cold market daily goal. So you haven't even hit your cold market daily goal. Take the $3,000 and be done. It would be too easy at this time of day to make a mistake, to lose half of it or maybe all of it, go red on the day, and now there's no time to recover. I'm trading and traveling. I'm in Mexico. It's not my goal to sit here all day long while I'm down here. So my goal is to get in, get green, and get out. And if I can get in, get green, and make 25 grand pre-market, that's awesome. Today, I was only able to pull out $3,000. But you know what? I'm going to be grateful for that. That's more than a lot of people make, certainly in a day of work. And I did it in a couple hours. So life is good. I'm not going to push my luck. So that's where I sat at 9:30, and I just had to, my gut feeling was I should probably walk away. But the other voice was saying, well, maybe take a couple more trades. SNOA might work. And I had to trust my gut on this one. And that's something that really takes a lot of training, to trust that gut. Because I think sometimes we'll feel like, we'll be trading and we'll be thinking to ourselves, oh, I should probably walk away. I probably shouldn't take this trade. Or, I just took a big loss. I probably shouldn't jump back in. But we do it anyways. So what is that? What pushes us to override our gut feeling typically is the emotion of fear or greed. It's one of the two. And if you're feeling, you're in the red, you're feeling fearful, you don't want to lock up a red day, then you start to get that desperation to recoup the loss and get back to green. And then that's where you can start to make these mistakes. So I hope that I was able to be a little voice of reason for you guys. I really think that if you can make it in a cold market, you can make it anywhere. So right now, it's just about getting through. I'll be here in the trenches every single day trading. So whether it's rain or shine, hot or cold, I show up. And when it's cold, I just try to be that voice of reason and say, listen, this is the time where I'm taking my foot off the gas. I'm going slow. I'm reducing my size. I'm going to keep chipping away at my, small cold market daily goal. And what I hope is that I'll look back in a week or 2 weeks and realize, wow, I've actually made some great progress here. And, at the rate of $3,000 a day, 10 days like that's 30 grand, 40 grand. Next thing you know, the market starts to heat back up. And when it heats back up, rather than having to dig yourself out of the hole, your account's sitting at all-time highs. And that's where I'm at right now. So I encourage you guys to check out the 2-week trial at Warrior Trading. You can watch over my shoulder while I'm trading. You can join our mentor sessions, which we have right now. Well, we had one on Monday. We have another one on Wednesday. We have another one on Friday. So you could join those. Bring your questions to the mentor sessions. And as always, you can be listening to my broadcast and using the tools that I'm using every single day. So there's DWTX popping up a little bit. Right. So, probably traders are looking at this like, well, there's nothing else to trade, so I might as well just take it. And you know what? It's 2 million shares of volume. Maybe there's enough traders in the market that are bored that'll just jump on this for lack of, anything else to trade. But trading out of boredom, not always a good idea. Bigger spreads, not great liquidity, some red on the tape there. It's risky. I don't think it's the day to take that risk. All right, so that's it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will put a link to a recent upload that I think you guys will enjoy right here. And I want to remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please take it slow, manage your risk, and I'll see you back here bright and early. My live stream starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.